Stimwalt here, and do it yourself is the name of the game today. We'll be looking at MYCHANIC SK3 Sidekick Stool, the ultimate garage companion. So why buy this? This thing does a lot. It's got an adjustable height of 17.5 to 20.5 inches. That's really, really tall. It's also super durable, can hold 500 pounds, 3-inch speed casters for maneuverability. It's got ample storage, also has an impact gun holster, deep drawer with ball bearing slides, tool caddy with a mobile device stand, and a 2-year warranty. So you might be wondering, why am I looking at this thing? And it's because I bought this Pittsburgh stool, and you know, for about a year it worked fairly well. I really liked how comfortable the seat was, and the casters on the bottom were good enough. I mean, they rolled around my garage pretty well, and there are cracks in my garage. But unfortunately, you see the welding here right below the seat. It just completely snapped off the steel there. And I busted so hard on the on the ground about 2 weeks ago. And, you know, I just had it. I was like, you know, I had this for about a year. I bought it at Harbor Freight, and Harbor Freight usually has really good stuff for cheap. But I mean, I don't weigh too much. I'm like 200 something pounds. And this thing was supposed to be rated for more than that, but it just snapped on me and I fell on my butt. So I went out to Amazon and I bought this pretty nice steel frame roller stool. It's got 4 casters that are decent. It's got a comfortable seat, and it does have a plastic bottom, but that's okay. Not a huge deal. And I can move around really easily on this thing, but the big reason I don't want to keep this is how short it is. I mean, it's much shorter than my Harbor Freight Pittsburgh stool by almost like 4.5 inches. And I'll just show you here real quick. I mean, there's a giant difference in height. And for someone of my height, I'm a very tall person. I feel like an adult in an elementary school like chair in that roller. So I decided to not get that and try out the MYCHANIC. And you know, before I've even assembled anything, you'll notice that the MYCHANIC is almost as tall as the Amazon stool, maybe 4 inches. And I haven't even set anything up yet. I haven't put the top on yet. I haven't put the casters on yet, and it's already pretty tall. So this is bound to be a very, very tall stool for me. Roller chair, I should say. And it comes in one simple single page of instructions, and it's pretty simple to set up. To start off with, you're going to put the casters on first. I do recommend you put all of the casters on by flipping it upside down. I started off the video here by putting one on, which you probably shouldn't have done. Just flip the thing upside down and start putting them on that way. And I put it on by hand first just to get the nuts on. And you're going to want to make sure that you use a washer if it's available for you to use. Just because you want to, you know, keep the nut protected and, you know, keeps that nice grip on the wheels for you. So yeah, you put these 4 on first, and I just hand tighten it, and then I flip it upside down, and then I will do an actual, hand tool tightening. I don't recommend you use any power tools when you're doing this. It's going to strip things. It's generally not a good idea to over tighten anything. I used an 18 millimeter on this, and it worked just fine. It was a little awkward, you know, to use it any other way. I tried the wrench. I tried a couple other options. It just didn't really work. I just used an 18 millimeter, and it went on just fine. You don't ever want to over tighten things. You know, I know that you may go to like Jiffy Lube or these other places, and you see these guys are using impact guns or they're using power tools for everything. Generally speaking, you don't want to over tighten things. You want to tighten it just enough. Not only does it elongate the amount of time you can use the tool or the gear, it will make it easier for you to loosen it in the future. You know, some of these things get so tight that you need a breaker bar just to loosen it. Now this is granted just a stool, so not a big deal. So yeah, I'm just tightening it enough to where I get some resistance, and maybe I'll cinch it quarter turn, but that's about it. I don't overdo it. And you'll see this thing is already pretty tall. It's already going to be taller than the you know, the cheaper Amazon roller that I bought. But once I add the MYCHANIC seat, I have the option of getting this up to 20.5 inches, which is really, really tall. But keep in mind, I'm 6'4" and I have very long legs, so I'm actually going to go for the highest setting and just see how it works out for me. You can lower it down to 17.5 inches, which, you know, for people that are like, I don't know, maybe 5'10" or shorter, you know, 17.5 is probably already going to be tall for you. And you might be okay with it, with the Amazon thing that I bought. I don't even know the brand of it. I mean, it clearly came from China. Now, when we open up the MYCHANIC, we can see that it comes with a nice little tool caddy, which is handy. It also comes with these side harnesses. And so you can just attach this to the side and it'll hold, you know, if you've got like some silicone lubricant or, you know, paste or grease or whatever you need, you can just drop them into these side panels. And it's super easy to install. I mean, you just drop in the screws and you tighten. And you're going to have two of those, one on each side. And then you're also going to have a nice holster on the back. And that's where you can put your impact gun, your power drill, whatever you're working on. I'm typically going to always have an impact gun, because I'm always loosening the lug nuts with an impact gun on loosen, and then I always tighten with a torque wrench. I never tighten with an impact gun. That's how you screw up your your rotors, and you definitely don't want to use an impact gun to tighten. I mean, unless you use it on the lowest setting and then hand tighten with a torque wrench. Anyway, so as you can see, I am now mounting the holster, which is going to be super useful, especially like when you're working on brakes, you know, where you've got silicone paste and you've got, you know, maybe a steel brush and all these different things that you're grabbing. Just being able to drop them in easily is nice. So now we're going to put in the seat, and I'm going to use the tallest setting because I'm a super tall person, but just keep in mind, you don't tighten it yet. Put the bolts in first, figure out what is the ideal height for you, and you can just sort of gingerly sit on the seat. Do not put your full weight on it yet until you've added the washers and the nut, obviously. But kind of get a sense of what height you want before you go through the effort of actually tightening everything down. One additional thing I like about this, using the 20.5 inch height, is I get even more tool storage below the seat. I mean, that's just really, really cool. And, you know, there's already a lot of storage. You've got a big drawer, two of these side panels, and a holster. Then I get extra storage under the seat. And there I just put my Ryobi impact gun in there, which is probably what I'm going to use it for most of the time. And then boom, a huge deep drawer with ball bearing slides. And then you've got this, you know, additional tool caddy. Unfortunately didn't fit under the seat. That would have been really awesome, but probably better inside the drawer anyway if you think about it. There I got my WD-40 silicone, not regular WD-40, which can be useful, you know, lubricating things without damaging anything. And as you can see, this thing moves around really nicely. I mean, it doesn't need any lubricant really. But anyway, to finish it off, just going to put a washer on one of each end of the bolt and then tighten it down. And make sure you tighten it down well. But figure out what you want first, what height you want first before you do any tightening, obviously, right? So yeah, let's just take a look. I mean, it was really easy to set up. The SK3 is super sturdy and very agile. I had no issues moving around on it. Clearly can hold 500 pounds, no problem. The extra storage created by the maximum height of 20.5 inches was a nice bonus. The seat is very large and comfortable for someone of my size. I'll give you my thoughts after a year, because really you have to use this for a year and really put it to the test before you can say it's a great product. And definitely check the video description for links if you're interested in buying it. And I'll also have a link there for the Amazon cheaper version, the 14.5 inch tall one, which, you know, for you, if you're like 5'10" or shorter, is going to be great for you. All right. Thanks, guys.